news is that, to make it very quick, good news is that our own media is thriving right now. And democratic space in terms of media in Kenya has been tremendously increased. You have so many channels, you've seen journalists doing really bold things, coverage. They're doing it better than international media, if I may say so.
Just very quickly, I need a question for you. The squeeze is on the decolonial, okay? And we're a little very careful about that with the decolonial, because the decolonial requires changing focus, beginning with from below, focusing your source, the voice of the local, the indigenous knowledges. That's the key to the decolonial. It is not the same thing as post-colonial. They're two different things. Of course, there is a secularity, but they're different. Now, in thinking through the difference, you begin to see a different voice. Let me see if I can borrow from my understanding of what's going on in African feminisms. You see, I had to think through or with my sister as a girl child, or my mother, being the combination of the logic, the cultural logic, the logic of culture, patriarchy on one hand, and what I call Rhodesiana, in which they grew up, locking what a feminist story would be. And unless if I think with my sister, her observation, as if I were a journalist, I wouldn't be able to write it. Now, what am I getting at? One needs what I might call an integral journalism. Integral to what? Integral to the voice of that which is not speaking. Okay? And so, hence my earlier remark that you can have a room full of black people. It doesn't mean addresses the question that we're talking about. So, the decolonial does the shift. And lots of people who used to work for the BBC went on to work Al Jazeera. They write about Zimbabwe exactly about any other place the same way. Now, so the question is the subject of representation. When I talked about the struggle over meaning, that was what I was alluding to. And the only way in which I can understand feminisms, I mean, I said to somebody earlier on, I grew up at a time in which I was in conversation with the feminism of the white women that I met since I was dismayed on the travel. I wasn't talking to my sisters. They were absent there. They were absent in the conversation about the politics of desire. Okay? And we know about colonialism, about land and so on. We have yet to think about the politics of desire. We have yet to think about, I have an elder sister, she did not go to school. I would not have survived if I switched roles with her. That experience of the same time space we live and mine are different. The experience of my mother, what I call unpaid labor that women do to maintain the household. Unless we think from that point of view, right, we won't understand so it's nothing to do with diversity. It's nothing to do with the number of women in the room. It's to do with thinking from the other side. Now, decolonial question poses it in that form. I know it's become the flavor of the month, like, postmodern souffle, but it's supposed to attend to that question. It's not rearrangement of chairs, how many people are in the room. We really have to think a new intelligentsia. Okay? Journalists are involved in the production and circulation of knowledge, even if they don't admit it. The question is, what is that process they do? Is it integral or not? It is answering that question that will take us to some things like the ethical question. So your question about the decolonial is very important. Now, it's taken place at a time in which the vandalism of higher education all over the place is taking place. It's quite difficult to find where there's a kind of consent space in which to think so. I'm not suggesting people should give up. This is one way in which, in a civil society sense, we can begin to thematize and think through what an integral journalism that is decolonial could look like. It's not there yet. It really is not there yet. It's a question mark, a serious one.
I think to cut him short, we are finishing at 8, so we've got 5 minutes to go.
Really unfair for the ladies.
So, what's left for us is to thank my 2 colleagues at the back here, the 2 ladies. They are researchers in social media. So their job here was to listen, observe, and then write out the comments on all what I've said. So if you don't hear your comments coming out, blame the native red. so that's what we've done. But I wanted to thank you before I give to my colleague and then to the left for China to give us the closing remarks. Dr. Professor Shile, thank you very much. We just had a very short time because most of the speakers got lost or could not come on time. But next time, we'll let everybody know on time. And I want to thank gentlemen for coming. You have got very good questions. They make us thinking. And when we put this, whatever is happening here does not end here. We take it up to the leaders and then see what changes could be made. And I want to thank Mr. Nyoro for coming and my wife behind Mr. Nyoro for being with us here. So thank you very much, everybody. And
I will hear them.
Yeah, we want to hear them.
You want to first go? Do you want to say anything?
Yes, yes.
No.
Please, just give me the microphone. Going close. Otherwise, we'll be in trouble. Research. Oh, yeah. That's the problem.
You sure? Remember, I would have gone if you guys, I knew you were not going to speak. I just thought it would be very unfair to leave before ladies speak.
So thank you very much. Researchers are not very good in speaking. But we still want to thank them for their research and for making this possible. And for making the food available as well, we want to thank them. Thank you very much, Gina.
Could I just ask something before
Yeah.
you go? I'm not taking long. Obviously, me and my friends,
Yes.
Charles here. Charles is a professor in one of the universities here. I also live locally here. We were meeting here as Kenyans. We didn't know what was happening
Yes.
until Julius came and told us. So we didn't know what was happening.
Yes.
We are just curious to know,
Yes.
because obviously this is a good discussion.
Yes.
You guys are here as panelists.
Yes.
Who are going to be the audience?
Okay.
And then secondly,
Yes.
how is this being taken forward?
Okay.
Because I think these are good discussions to have.
Yes.
My friend asked,
Yes.
Al Jazeera, for instance,
Yes.
it's a huge thing.
Yes.
You guys are old enough to know when Iraq war was happening, when
Yes.
Bush threatened to bomb it because of what it was showing.
I just key in my name. I was all over it.
No, that's fine. What I'm
very quickly.
Yeah.
I got it from what he was getting at.
Yeah.
Because it has to do with what is happening in the institutions that produce the new intellectuals on one hand. On another, how do we? And you're quite right. How do we continue this conversation? Hold on a second. This was provoked by an issue that emerged from reportage among Zimbabwean communities. And out of interest, well, let's have a discussion about media ethics and see how we run with it. Okay, that's how we began. We'd hoped there'd be more people, and I hope there will be more people before. And I welcome your remark, because the questions, it's no longer possible to talk in a single country anymore, if that is the case, because of the geopolitical position we are. And in many ways, the examples we're giving, you can find them in the 54 countries that make up Africa. So it matters a great deal, just spot on, just for us to, this is like a beginning in your WhatsApp group. Let's extend the conversation. That way, we gather the energies that make it possible. At the same time, recognize, I would love to see an equivalent of an African media space, which we are the drivers. Right? I really would like to see that. And in the we, is this from the bottom up? And I heard that call. But I don't think, if I knew it myself, I would sell it I'm not neoliberal in that way. I just think it matters from the site I occupy, which is the site of production, separation of retired academic resource, to think about these questions in this serious affair. So I'm really grateful. Sorry, I'm trying to rush things and push them in, but I heard the question, and that's why I try to answer it in that way. I try not to go into theory too much, because I know that's my bread and butter. I just wanted to sort of thematize that sometimes these two things, post-colonial and decolonial, although they get collapsed in the same way, they don't mean the same thing. I hope in 50 years from now, it will be past tense, we're not there yet. But we in that moment of trying to think from the indigenous bottom up. And those of us who work in the field of production and circulation of ideas have a responsibility to, at the very least, to make it accessible, yes, to make it meaningful. But in some cases, borrowing from their research case studies, but also in the business, what I call the articulation of the stuff on the table. Sorry, I'm going off, but there we are. That's the meat of it.
Thank you, Prof. Actually, it's now 8 o'clock. We need to come back here the next time. So if we stay longer, they will not allow us back. So we need to be good guests or good visitors. Thank you very much, everybody. Do you have anything to say?
Yeah. Thank you. So I know short notice. Really appreciate you guys coming. But you know what? It's just the beginning. Next time it's gonna be given enough time, enough publicity, because it's kind of last minute. But next time we take time because it's valuable talks we are having here, and I know they can go very far. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much for taking up.
On behalf of News of the South and Informa East Africa, I would like to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to this event. I'm sure we've learned a lot today, and we've had the opportunity to share information. We will be having a book launch on the 1st of November, and I'd like to invite everyone who's here. The book launch will be here in the smaller hall on the 1st of November. It's a Saturday from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. So tell your friends to tell your friends and family, and we'll see you on the 1st of November. Thank you so much.